Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Chris Gore, and it's Friday, which means it's another Film Threat watch party. We have an amazing independent film. It's a mix of horror, comedy, thriller. You need to see the trailer right now. If you're listening to me at this moment, check out the trailer for Bloody Hell. This is an incredible independent film that you need to see. I have some of the cast and filmmakers right now, and they're in Australia getting ready to talk to you. Welcome to the Film Threat watch party for Bloody Hell. Thanks everybody for joining me on a Friday to watch Bloody Hell. I love watching movies with you every week. And being able to share it with the filmmakers is something that's really special to me. You know, I'm like a huge indie film fan. I'm such a fan of independent film that I kind of get annoyed around award season. It's kind of award season and people are like mentioning like, oh, the Oscars, the Spirit Awards, the nominations for this are out. But the movies that I really like, the independent films that I really love, tend to never get nominated for any types of awards. So I love indie film so much, I actually started my own award show. It was an idea I had, believe it or not, back in the 90s when Film Threat was a print magazine. But 3 years ago, we did our first awards on a couch. The next year, we did it at a movie theater. And now we're doing it this year at a drive-in. Here's a sneak peek. I'm actually going to debut for you. Here is the trailer for Award This.
In a world where every award show is a fucking Zoom call, comes Award This. From your pals at Film Threat comes a celebration of true independent films. Join us on April 10th at a socially distanced drive-in. In fact, I'll be there as your announcer, wearing a hazmat suit and inside a giant Bacta tank. And prepare for a virtual award show unlike any other ever in the history of mankind. Or awards kind. Award This 2021. It's happening, whether you like it or not. Drive-in live event on Saturday, April 10th. Virtual award show on Sunday, April 18th. Get tickets now at awardthis.com.
That's right. You cannot get a ticket to the Oscars. I can't get a ticket to the Oscars. The Spirit Awards, years ago, I used to be invited to that. And now I can't get in, but guess what? You can right now get a ticket to Award This. Our drive-in event is April 10th. Very limited tickets on that. We only have a room for 125 cars. And then our virtual event, which we're going to film the live event on April 10th. Then you get to see it no matter where you are. Virtual tickets are free right now for a limited time. Thank you for watching that little promo. Now, let's get to our watch party for Bloody Hell. This is a movie that got an incredibly good review on an outlet that I trust, which is Film Threat. If you go to filmthreat.com and you look up the review for Bloody Hell, it got an amazing review on it from one of our toughest critics, actually. Really loved it. This is the first time I'm actually doing a watch party where I have not seen the film. So my reactions to it are going to be genuine. So why don't you join me and get the movie right now? I got it on Vudu. Right now, I got Bloody Hell. You can get it. It's like $15 to buy. Get it right now on Vudu. It's on iTunes. It's on Amazon. However you watch it, the Film Threat Watch Party is a second screen experience. So what you're doing is you're watching the movie along with us. And I have the filmmakers here who are going to reveal the secrets. They're going to tell us behind the scenes. And I can't believe, I think it's like 11 a.m. in Australia right now. But let's bring on Robert Benjamin. Robert Benjamin is the writer of Bloody Hell. Robert, this must be your first watch party.
It's my very first watch party, my very first film. I'm actually in California because I'm the only American here. Everyone else is in Australia.
Well, I met everybody from Australia that's going to be joining us for this watch party. It must be, there's something that's got to be very special about words that you write on a page that suddenly turn into, you can see it come to reality. You get to look up yourself on IMDb and see screenwriter, and not just screenwriter, produced screenwriter.
True. Yeah. When you write a script, I don't care how good or bad it is, unless you're an established filmmaker, which I'm not, you don't know if it's ever going to get made. So you kind of just, throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. And I kind of went balls to the wall on this one, just went as crazy as I could, thinking that I was going to get laughed out of town, but apparently not. Apparently the filmmakers are just as crazy as me.
Well, that's good. What's your journey to being a screenwriter in terms of a lot of screenwriters that I talk to, they usually say, well, it was my 9th script that got produced.
Yeah.
What was your journey? How many scripts did you write before, and what inspired Bloody Hell?
Yeah, it probably was my 9th or so, I would say. And I think it's good that you write over and over and over again and get the garbage out of your system, because the 8 previous scripts were garbage. They were absolute garbage. But you have to know what you did wrong and what works and what doesn't work, and you have to be able to criticize yourself. The way it got started, the plot came about when I was just being paranoid traveling. I thought a family was literally going to kidnap me because they were giving me the evil eye. And I figured, look, I should be prepared. Let's figure out what I would actually do if that happened. I jotted down ideas, and I think I wrote the entire outline at the gate of my flight. And then as far as being produced, it's kind of a good segue because Brett, the producer, is also here. I was working in the movie trailer industry. I cut the trailer for his previous film, Better Watch Out. And it kind of just, set up the friendship. He was looking for another project, and that's how it happened.
Well, what would you describe the tone? It definitely rides the line between comedy and horror. I mean this in all the best ways, because I do think that having that release was something that's so intense. Comedy, to break that up is always helpful.
For sure. Yeah, and actually I didn't set out to write a comedy. The comedy just kind of came naturally when you see the two pivotal characters who are kind of the same person. You'll see what I'm talking about. Once I developed that idea that your conscience is talking to you, the humor just kind of came naturally. I wanted to write a really scary movie, but once I hit a couple jokes early on between these two characters, I decided this is funny enough. I'm going to go in that route and see where it takes me. It took me here. So we'll see if you.
Now, mostly screenwriters, when you talk about screenwriters in terms of the process in making the film, a lot of times screenwriters will be like, thanks for writing the movie. Okay, we're going to make the movie now. And then the screenwriter is like, hey, wait, can I come to the set one day? What was your experience like? And this is before, of course, we bring on Brett and Ashley and Ben and Travis, who I don't see on camera yet. Travis is probably getting a drink.
Yeah.
What was it like at the beginning in terms of like when the film was in production? Yeah. Did you get to visit? How much were you part of the actual production?
I was pretty fortunate. Brett and I and the other producers, we talked a lot before we were even in pre-production, and I was lucky. They wanted me to also co-produce the movie, so I flew to Australia. I was in the pre-production meetings. I was on set every day, and I was in the edit bay in post-production. I was pretty much from conception to where we are now. So I was very fortunate to be that involved.
Well, let's bring on everyone else. Well, before we bring on everyone else, I want to remind you again, watching this, ask your questions, your comments, post in the chat, whether you're watching this on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Send us your questions and get the movie. We're going to start the movie in under 10 minutes now. Under 10 minutes, we're going to be starting the film. So get it queued up and get it ready. Let's bring on the whole crew. Let's bring on the team, shall we? Sure. All right. Let's bring on Brett, Ashley, Ben, and Travis. How are you?
Great.
Thank you.
Wait, it's early in Australia. Wait, what time is it right now? Is it too early for beers?
No.
Never.
I'm in Sydney. So in Sydney, it's just after 12 lunchtime, but everybody else is in Queensland, which is 11. So maybe too early for them.
Maybe.
So it's getting to drinks at lunch, I guess, is what you would say.
Well, it is a Saturday for us too. So, you kind of get away with it. You're allowed to start earlier. Hold on, I'm getting a call from Travis. Sorry.
Get Travis over here. Brett, tell us the story of how you got Robert involved with his script. He met you as a trailer editor. How did he convince you, hey, fund this thing, turn me into a produced screenwriter?
Oh, this when he gave me the initial pitch before giving me the script, because he would be wanting to see whether I would even respond to the pitch before giving me the script. I did not know what to make of the pitch. It was the most unique, outlandish pitch I'd heard in this space that I could recall. So on instinct, I had to read this script to see, to see what could this possibly live up to the pitch that was given. And it wasn't. I don't think it was actually ready to show me the script when he first pitched it. I think it was like fairly well, in his mind and down the path. So I was really waiting to see it. But once I read it, we only went through a few minor drafts after, first seeing it, because the story it was there from Rob, and it was just tweaking and dialing certain things up, certain things back. But its uniqueness. And then it was validated when we started showing a few distributors who I knew, just like, and they didn't, there was always, because you'll see when you see the film, it's got a mixed tone through it. It's not just straight horror. It's not straight comedy. It's not a straight thriller. It's not a straight action. It's all four of those things. And that can freak some distributors out, and that can be like, I'm really, salivating to see what it is this turns out to be. But we got a good feel from it, and it was evidenced by once we got it in the hands of Ben, which I'm sure you're going to ask Ben, how he came involved to be our leading man. He was immediately, once he read it, was like that next weekend was like, I want to do this type of stuff. So it kind of really took off, gained momentum very quickly once we'd made the decision. And I talked to my financiers who had funded the last few films. This, I think, is our next film, and we can do this out of Australia. And Rob will come down along with our other US producer, Josh, will come down and make this with us, and the director and the crew. And I know I can assemble a great crew, and we can get such a diverse and interesting looking and talented cast from Australia, all playing American and Finnish people. So there you go. We could do it. So yeah.
Well, isn't it? I find it really interesting when a film kind of like blends genres. It's sort of like salted caramel. You don't think that salt and caramel would go well together, but they do. Just like comedy and horror to kind of release that tension. I don't know. I like that. I like that when a film sort of breaks the bounds of the genre and kind of vacillates between one or the other. Ben, how did you get involved in the project? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I was. Brett wasn't, sort of too far from what actually happened. Then I was in LA shooting a pilot, and my agent rang me and said, "Look, there's this script called Bloody Hell that's come across the desk. Give it a read. Let me know what you think." And I started reading it on set, and kind of, very difficult to put down. Once I got up to the conscience and rec stuff reading through, I finished it, rang my agent, and I was like, what's the deal? Come on, what's happened? So I pretty much got back to Australia. Brett flew down to Sydney, and we had a meeting. And the rest is history. Pretty much from there, we sort of shook hands and went, all right, let's make this thing. And fortunately, the benefit of getting attached as early as I was is you get to go all around the world with the character and with the project, and you get to explore every little nook and cranny and kind of land somewhere that you think, no, this is where it goes. So it was, that's how I got involved.
Well, if the trailer holds true, we're going to see you in some very compromising positions.
I'm still, yeah.
I think that's what we're about to experience. I want to remind everybody right now, get the movie Bloody Hell, get it however you get it, iTunes, Vudu. I bought it on Vudu. I can tell you, I bought it on Vudu specifically because they don't show a commercial at the beginning. Amazon Prime. This is a little note for Amazon. I don't like the little commercial before the movie. I've already bought the movie. I want to watch it. Ashley, how did you get involved?
Yeah, so it was an audition that came through my agent, and it was really cool because often, a lot of the time, you don't get sent a full script for an audition, but we did get the full script for this. So I couldn't put it down until I finished, and I was like, I need to be in this movie. So went to the first audition. I was so nervous because I wanted to be a part of this so badly. It was so funny. It was the horror part of it was awesome, and I really wanted to be on set with these people that have created the film. And just went in, auditioned. When I was walking out, Brett was actually waiting in the waiting room and said, "You look like a Maddie." I was like, "Oh my God, I bloody hope so." If just from there.
It looks like Travis has arrived. Here we go.
Look, I would have been on time if the lead of the film didn't make me get his beers.
Yeah, it's early enough for beers, isn't it? What is it? Like, it's just after 11. That's fine.
Past 12, I was just clicked over to an
Oh,
apartment.
perfect. Well, we're getting ready to watch the film. This is your last reminder, everybody, to get Bloody Hell right now. Get it on demand, iTunes, Amazon, Vudu, however you buy your films or rent your films. Get it right now. You're going to watch it along with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So get the film. I also want to remind you to chat with us. So your comments, your questions. Time to party, says Brian. I agree with you. I drink too much too, says awesome. Post your questions and comments. We have the filmmakers here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the beers have arrived, and I think we're getting ready to start.
But Trav's got the cruise
have the movie. Brett, does everyone have the movie set? Has everyone got it? Like, I've got it on my iPad, so I'm good to go.
Ashley, I do think you need to open up that link I gave you, Ash.
Okay, I'm on it.
Put it on your phone, yeah.
Cool. All right. Once everybody's set up, we'll all press play at the same time. I'm going to go on social media. I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on social media, and I'm going to retweet our watch party. I'm actually watching us on Twitter right now. We're on Twitter live. I'm gonna retweet and get some more people to join this watch party. But I think we're getting ready. Ashley, did you get it?
I think I've got it. We're in a countdown.
Cool. And Robert, you're ready? I should remind, like, you've seen the movie, so maybe keep the audio just a little bit low. We're just so we can be in time with everything that's happening.
Gotcha.
Turn my audio off.
Sure. You probably know what happens.
I'm talking anyway, man.
Cool. Okay. If we're ready to go, we can all press play to watch Bloody Hell. I'm saying it to the audience. This is your last warning. Robert is going to give us a countdown. We're all going to press play. And Robert, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I actually have the spinning wheel of death, but you know what? I've seen the movie.
So, no!
Here we go.
Give us a 3, 2, 1, so we'll be in sync.
All right, here we go. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, play.
Wait. Okay.
Sweet. Here we go.
Good luck.
Oh, the Horror Collective. They put out good stuff. I know the Horror Collective.
Are you? Yeah, these are your texts. Be careful, they explode. You fucking shoot.
Oh, and by the way, you can swear. You can swear. It's all good. You can fucking swear if you want. It's all good.
Yeah, great. Should have checked first. Thank you.
Hey, Rob.
No, it's okay.
Hey, Trav. Glad you could join us.
It's for me. It's very exciting.
I'm wondering if people know your role in this movie, because not many people know that you're just one person.
Oh.
In real life.
In real life.
This is the best time.
This is I can just already tell this is not going to end.
Jesse
well.
Robertson.
This opening scene.
She's a fantastic little, not only actor but swimmer. We made sure that we cast an actress with adequate swimming skills.
Yeah.
Well, I can already tell this is about family, but maybe not a family you would ever want to meet.
That's one way to
I'm fairly certain that that's the case. Underwater scenes are always so strange. I always am concerned when I see any underwater scene. My instinct is to hold my breath as long as the person on screen, just to see if it's really possible, right?
Yeah.
Realistic.
I remember playing Sonic the Hedgehog as a kid in the underwater levels. I would panic when mate, the anxiety was massive. Completely related. So.
Wait, did you really shoot in Boise, Idaho?
No.
Is that stock footage?
That was stock footage. Yeah. Not
He's like-
secret.
Love the stock footage companies.
And this bank was not a bank. It was a abandoned pet store that they built into a bank in 2 weeks
On the Gold Coast.
on the Gold Coast.
How is that? How do you do that?
I don't know.
Long hours,
Name was there.
a big art department team and long hours, and lots of beers to keep them going, Chris. This is what we do. Lots of beer.
I won't argue that ever.
Yeah, man, it's way above our pay grade.
Was this Ben? Was this one of the early scenes that you shot?
Yeah, it was actually quite early on. We, I won't spoil anything, but there's kind of a few core locations, this being one of them. And yeah, we kind of did get to tackle this pretty early on, which was good because it's important. Big information, you know.
You always find against my will, no less.
Lots of ad-libbing and riffing here, wasn't there, Ashley and Ben?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Lots of flirting.
Lots of flirting.
Bit too easy, Ash, huh?
Huh?
Bit too easy.
Yeah. No, this is great fun. There was obviously a script, but we had a lot of sort of flexibility with it. So that's always great. Feels a lot more natural.
It's toasty, isn't it?
One of the joys of seeing a heist scene like this is running in your head how you would do it. That's what I always think. It's just like, why did they do that? That's a rookie mistake. I mean, I've never even, never committed a crime like this or even thought about it seriously. But I always think, how would I have done it to not get caught?
Yeah, well, he's not the most calculated group of bank robbers you've ever seen. For sure.
Hands where I can fucking see them. Now!
Where did you get those masks?
Art department.
Art department where
They were written in the script. Demon, lizard, werewolf, Noah. They did a good job.
Yeah.
Art department were incredible.
Yeah, so good.
Sit the guy! What did I just fucking say?
I love the way you cut this intro.
I also like the color grading on this.
Yeah, it's cool.
Definitely seems, yeah. Oh, nice.
And look, this credit intro is probably the last thing that was edited, right, Rob? I mean, it was like we'd had the film and we'd been testing it a lot, and then it was an idea of Rob's to spin through this a bit here, and we come back to a lot of this, but you'll see without giving it away. But it was a good. We wanted a very nice kinetic way to like drag people, bring people into this movie.
It looks very much like a graphic novel. It has a graphic novel feel.
Yeah, it's really cool.
His personality, that was the thing, trying to give it that personality at the beginning. Because the rest of the film certainly has personality.
Great way to set the pace as well.
Yeah. Frenetic, yeah.
He may have moved
You didn't bring your bucket hat.
but this wasn't self-defense.
This was madness. The fact that he caused an unnecessary death proves he's a danger to society.
Rex, this isn't going to go your way. It's the DA's occupancy. I think you should consider it. What? No. Rex, the jury wants to. It's not going to go your way.
Robert, did you have anything to do with this? The editing of this title sequence?
Yes.
Tell us.
So I guess a good thing to note would be, in the script, you didn't really know what Rex did specifically in this bank. There was a lot of alluding to what he did, but you didn't see anything specific. And after a couple test screenings, the audience, kind of decided that they needed to engage with this character a little bit more. So I needed to figure out a way to give them enough to let the guy, but not give everything away. So I cut that intro.
It works.
Thank you.
And we have a comment from Blue Reptile, says the best movie 2021 so far. The story, the soundtrack, the acting, just amazing. You got this.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reptile.
That's awesome.
Cool.
You just got a subscriber.
Yeah. Sweet.
Brett, if I start to say something I'm not allowed to say, just beep, buzz me. Just I don't know. Yeah. Especially once the alcohol starts coming.
You've got your whiskey, haven't you, Rob? Whiskey, isn't it Scotch?
No, whiskey. I like Woodford.
Yeah, whiskey.
Actually, Woodford.
Brett, have you got yourself a little whiskey? It's nice to see you as well.
I have not yet at all. I'll probably, because it's beautiful sunshine here, I'll probably start with gin. It'll be nice gin.
Ooh,
Gin.
nice way to start.
Yeah.
The film pairs quite nicely with gin. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Gin film.
Can we give away the hand secret? Is that something we can give away or no?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, come on. That's fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, fortunately, Ben and I have the exact same hands. When he was busy doing other stuff, when you see close up of hands, it's me. It's my hands. The wallet shot. He was off doing more important stuff, and I was the one taking the bills out of the wallet.
But when you watch it again, you quickly realize that's the best acting he does in the film.
Thanks, Chuck.
Fuck off! Fuck out of here! They're such pricks. What are they doing?
God, I'm late.
Can't just enjoy a hamburger.
Under the pot?
Let me tell you, since we made this movie, I've enjoyed maybe a few too many hamburgers, and I don't do that anymore.
But how long was it before you'd had a hamburger before that hamburger?
You know what's funny? I remember they kept subbing like the fake meat with the real meat ones, and you could tell some of them would be like, it's so hard to act that I'm enjoying this. It was the plant meat. I was like, stop giving me plant. No offense to the plant meat eaters out there, but wow. I think you eat meat or you don't eat meat. Here we go. There'll be somebody telling me to shut up.
It might even be a vegan joke later, Ben.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This is an opinion I didn't realize I had. Whoops.
Holy mother of God.
Sweet.
Whoa! 8 years of bad
Temperature out. It's so loud downstairs, but it's so quiet in here, isn't it? You haven't said anything about that. Is that the bloody hell show?
Dude! If that were a movie, I still wouldn't believe it.
Cruise shirt. The cast cruise shirt. Yeah.
You got to write a book, man. Did you tell anybody?
That's Joshua Brennan, correct? Some interesting trivia about him.
He's so funny.
Let's hear it.
Well, it's more for later on in the movie when another character is revealed. So I'll divulge, or maybe Ben can.
Yeah.
How we did that, how we achieved that, yeah. And Josh's role, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any idea if there'll be an extended version released?
Well, certainly on the DVD we have there's 5 or 6 deleted scenes, and they're quite detailed deleted scenes that we've added in there, because that's pretty much then with those deleted scenes. That's everything then, really, isn't it? Rob? I mean, I can't think of anything else that we didn't. I mean, obviously, within certain scenes, you cut within certain scenes. A lot of sequences remained intact. You know, you're constantly refining them, playing with the music, etc., the sound design. But I think with the deleted scenes on the DVD, that's pretty all-encompassing now. Because there's some great scenes. Look, it's just one of those things in editing. If for other people out there, produced, etc., you make it kind of a film. You want it to be every single scene that you shot. You want in the film in its best version. But sometimes you have to kill some babies, as they say. So there was 4 or 5 scenes that ended up on the floor.
I don't know if saying kill some babies from what I know about this movie might not be the thing you want to say right now. But,
well, pun intended then. Pun intended.
Exactly. There you go.
It was really funny when we were shooting this scene. Art department asked for a lot of, photos and things from mine and Josh's history. Josh and I went to drama school together, acting school, as did Trav and myself. But Josh and I were in the same year. And we went to Vietnam years ago, and that box is pretty much filled with photos of me and Josh in Vietnam. It's very hard to keep a straight face looking at those photos, pretending to be Rex. I'm like, this is when we were just being dickheads in Vietnam.
Your holiday snaps.
This is a weird question for Ben and Ashley, but as an actor, when you go and you learn the craft, the skills, all your toolkit, is part of that toolkit having an American accent? And then, because obviously it broadens your castability, right? But how do you do an American accent? I mean, I don't really know it when I hear it. I know an Australian accent, a British accent, but an American accent, what is that? Do you just kind of go with like a room temperature IQ? What do you do? What are some of the techniques to kind of get? I don't know. I don't know, but seriously, to be serious for a second, like, what is the skills involved in sort of creating that? Is that something that they actually teach? And then I just don't know how you authentically do an accent.
That's a good question. Ash?
Yeah, well, it is something that I guess as Australians, we do have to have down. Especially, there's so much shooting in Australia as well. You've got massive blockbusters on the Gold Coast, and to have the opportunity to work on those, you do kind of have to have a relatively flawless US accent that will passable at best sometimes. But like we've also, for me, I've grown up with US movies and TV my whole life, so my ear's always been really open to the accent. So listening and mimicking and all of that was kind of how I first started to get my tongue around it. But yeah, drama schools do focus on accents and things like that. It just means the pool for opportunities much wider for us here in Australia.
Yes, they didn't teach us Finnish. It would have been really handy. No, but I agree with what Ash said as well. I mean, and I think the one mistake a lot of people make when doing it is they forget to remember that the character you're playing has been speaking that way their whole life. And human beings inherently are relatively lazy. We find the easiest way to do things. So every dialect has laziness within it. So whilst basically it just needs to be consistent. If it isn't going to be a flawless accent, it needs to be consistent. Yeah. If you're going to drop things off, or if you're going to kind of overlook things, but the character work and accent work, they can actually blend together really nicely. And you can find things when developing a character through accent work that you typically wouldn't have found. It's a different placement in your mouth, different resonance in your chest and your body, when you're more nasal, blah, blah, blah. Cockney accents, very nasal, does a lot to your attitude. So, accent work is very important, but it's case by case too,
And I like to always ask, when I have the benefit of talking to talented actors, I like to ask, I've never gotten a really good response to this question. But like, I find acting to be this daunting thing where you have to memorize the lines. How do you memorize the lines? Are there tricks? What do you do? Like, seriously, how do you do that?
When they're in a different
Yeah, how about lines in another language? How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
all actors just do it differently. Like some people use repetition. You know, some I think Robert De Niro uses like you just do it in repetition, but with no rote learning, which is you just say the words, you don't have any meaning, you just do it over and over. Some people, you know, learn the through line and the thoughts of the scene, and then the lines just kind of make sense in that. It's just case by case. It depends how well your memory works. And
it's true. It is true. It's like it's a necessity of the job, though. So, like, even if you do have a problem with it, like you know, a lot of actors are dyslexic as well. Like a surprising number of them. Well, I should say, a surprising number of people are dyslexic. It's just a hurdle, you know. I mean, if you don't learn your lines, somebody else will, and you won't get the job.
Brando used to have somebody standing offside with cars.
I think you got to be Brando to do that. He would have. Who was it? It was Rockaball or something like that. He had with a thing with a placard, and he had his lines on his chest.
In Apocalypse Now, he made Sheen.
Shit, maybe that's who it was.
Face.
That's so funny. It's like, hey,
I think you have to be Brando.
You'll be there and you go, "How was work today?" And it's like, "Work fucking sucked today, actually." They put post-it notes on my forehead so Marlon Brando could, you know, fucking say his lines.
I want to ask about wardrobe too. Like, it's such a thing to building a character. Did you have input into the wardrobe? And like, tell me about that aspect. The wardrobe, like, did you have like input, or like, was there like, this is, I mean, like, just curious about wardrobe choices.
Yeah, I get to have a lot of input, which was really great because I think the characters that I played changed a lot in the lead up to the film. You know, so the first time I tried on the clothing, they were exactly the same, and I really wanted to make these characters who you'll meet later different. So wardrobe, they were so open to, you know, to chatting and shaping character, and their input was amazing. Yeah, so I found it an amazing collaborative experience working with them.
It was pretty cool. They'd buy for Maddie quite a few options, and then I just kind of got to go in and shop and go, oh, I think this and this would work for this scene, all of that. So the options were there, and then just being able to put outfits together from there, which is great because having that input into your own character is pretty important at times. So yeah, I enjoyed that part of it.
It is nice because it's like it's a collaborative process too. You know, you kind of you know, some days you'll do all this work on a character, and then you come in and they're like, "We're going to put you in an athlete," and you're like, "What?" You know, you change everything. And it was a very collaborative process on this film, which was kind of really cool. You know, I mean, the benefit of pre-production and having those 2 to 3 weeks is that trial and error is such a huge part of it. We had Rob, you know, with us there. We had Brett, we had Alistair, the director, and of course all of our department. So it was kind of cool to be able to, I don't know, just figure out, I mean, where we were going in the rehearsal rooms and where they were thinking. I mean, you know, it's an art form in and of itself, you know, designing wardrobe. So it's nice to sort of respectfully collaborate with these other departments because ultimately the final product is better for it.
It was a really amazing pre-production. Like sometimes on a set, you get to the first day and that's where you meet everyone. That's where you just launch into, and everybody's on completely different pages. Chatting to like the family, we got to spend heaps of time together and do run-throughs and work with the accent coach together. So just when we got to day one, everybody knew what we were making, which was really cool. I think that just speeds up the process so much.
Yeah.
And also, Ben, want to ask about your 5 o'clock shadow throughout the whole movie. How is that consistent? That seems like it would be challenging to have it all just for seriously for continuity. You had like this kind of thickish, 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah,
Ben's actually had surgery to.
My hair only grows a certain length on my face. No, I mean that's our terrific makeup department. But every morning, going over with the razor at the right length and then clipping hair off the lip, and I mean, again, kudos to them. And because I mean, I'm kind of tired. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. You're showing up, and I just get to sort of drift off again in the chair, Because these girls, yeah, I mean, they're phenomenal.
It never gets enough credit, continuity on films. Like, it's such an
Certainly
important
not.
thing.
You're right, actually, yeah. Because they're the things that sort of break films, I think, too. Well, not break films, but, you know, nothing's a stark reminder, or nothing breaks immersion, like, you know, seeing a glass full and then less full in the next take and then back to full and, you know, all this sort of stuff. People are like, oh, yeah, that's right, it's a movie, you know.
This is one of the biggest turning points in the movie about now, Chris. Like, this is, you know, this is Rex waking up, and this is where he's, well, this is the story.
Yeah, I can tell.
This is where hopefully most people, once they see this, will think, okay, now I have no idea what's going to happen the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that's how it read.
Yeah.
That was the intention.
This was your nightmare. This was your nightmare, right, Robert? Like,
yeah, this is exactly what I wrote down at the airport. Just watch. This is exactly line by line, shot for shot, what I thought was going to happen to me by that crazy family at the airport who was looking at me, and this is what I thought was going to happen. And this is such a great reveal. I love the golf ball. On set, I was like, when are we going to shoot the golf ball? And they kept pushing it. And then, like, 3 weeks in, they're like, we're shooting the golf ball. I'm like, yes, we're shooting the golf ball.
And crash, you just
nice little reveal. And ooh.
Ah,
Love that.
yeah. Oh.
I always
love
find
that.
that.
It's a
Yeah,
great
I always find it funny. We're watching it faster than everybody.
Yeah, everyone's a little off timed.
Yeah, I've just gone back a bit. I think I was a bit far forward.
We're all within a few seconds of each other, I think.
Yeah.
Movie.
Fuck, Christmas in July, baby. Christmas is fair, baby.
I'm caught up. I can't.
Right.
I'm gonna do a terrible job asking you all questions.
Oh, it's cooling down in here, right? Yeah. What do you mean? Maybe a lot.
Just tell me what you want to hear.
I don't know.
Ben, did you have any concerns about the shirtless scenes? Did you think to yourself, going to be shirtless in this? I guess it's time for push-ups.
It was a conversation I had with like quite early on. We had a big chat about the character and blah blah blah, and basically his time in prison. And it was something I was aware of. And I guess it's kind of what you want. I mean, you'll see what happens as there's development throughout the film. But basically, I wanted him to look, and so did Alistair and all of us. I mean, Rob as well. Brett. We all sort of thought this guy needs to look really capable. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, it's a bit of a vanity project as well. You're like, faced with the option of looking bad or looking good. I think everybody would prefer to look good. So a couple of months of training definitely helped, and I'm glad I did it because that's my new dating profile picture. With a bucket hat and a floral shirt on, it's that one.
The best part of shooting was sitting eating dessert in front of Ben every day.
Yeah. Your tuna, rice, and almonds.
The catering was amazing on the film, but Ben had a special catering for at least we shot for 7 weeks. 6 of those weeks, Ben had to be pretty very stringent on what he was having because he was shirtless until the last week. He could put the shirt back on, and you'll see why. But he went to town then. He went to town.
I could have some carbohydrates. It was just no carbs, chicken and broccoli, mate. And it was, it works, but it's not a way of life. You know, it's, you do it for something and it's rewarding that you put in the hard work, but
I once interviewed Henry Cavill and I asked him about, his diet regimen, which was similar to yours, Ben. It's like and on his cheat day, he always had pizza.
Yeah.
Did you have a cheat day and did you have cheat day food?
No, I didn't actually, but I actually didn't allow myself because I was too nervous, It was also because it wasn't a massively long shoot, It wasn't about maintaining it for a really long time. It was kind of about, mainly just treading water. But my cheat food is definitely like a burger. It's a big dirty ass burger, and
Yeah, Chris, first hand I did know he did find a great 0 carbohydrate beer he was able to have. Burley Big Head beer.
Yeah, brought to you today.
Hey, sponsor us.
Well, Ben, I'm sorry to see that you've let yourself go so much.
We're all thinking
that's why I can't keep standing out.
The thing that strikes whenever I've seen scenes like this, I'm reminded of Sam Jones, the 1980 version of Flash Gordon. I don't know why I thought of that, but the Flash Gordon movie from the early 80s, he's like that position cannot be a fun position to be in for any length of time.
Oh no, it's tough.
How long did it take for your hands to heal up the first day?
Oh yeah, that first day was hilarious. Day one was basically in the basement here was this whole scene. The 2 characters like knuckling it or basically just figuring out the situation they're in. And so after a full day of playing the conscience, we kind of our last shot was because doing it like this as well. Time is money and it's very time consuming. So I think we did find clever ways. Yeah, Brett.
Well, no, I was going to get into the whole the Josh thing and how he would play the character opposite you. But one of the things, Chris, in the interview, when the meeting of Ben way back when he expressed interest or love to play this role, was Ben went through how he wanted to go about and do it. But he said, look, I'm going to have, as you're going to see as the movie plays out, there are a lot of lines where I'm speaking to myself, my alter ego, my conscience. And it would be great if I could have an actor, not just someone reading the line, but an actor playing opposite me. Obviously, we've got to shoot. Ben has to shoot both those scenes, each side of the character. But when he's doing one side, he would like an actor playing, and at least physically, kind of looking as much like him too, so that it could be not to say that Ben is pure method, and I'm putting words in his mouth, but he really was very keen for an actor to be reading those lines opposite him and acting opposite him for the performance. And it was like a masterstroke of Ben to not require, but strongly suggest I want that. And we immediately embraced that. And so the actor that was doing that is who we just saw in the bar scene early on, his old long lost friend, Pete, is Josh. And Josh is playing helped Ben all the way through the whole shoot play his alter ego, and he even got physically close to as fit as Ben. He was very fit, so that Ben could just feel like he was playing against himself and a real actor rather than just a stand-in reading the lines, like, hey, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So it was a bit of a masterstroke. And I think he also took some turns being tied up too, just to help you out a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, whenever I was a conscience and we could cheat it, that would be Josh Brennan's back. But the benefit of having, he's like, one of my best mates, but B, he's such a phenomenal actor that it was, he played a large part in developing the character as well. It was kind of a team effort. It's one of those situations, I remember when I first spoke to him about it, I'm like, look, I understand if this doesn't appeal to you because it's all guts and no glory, but But
Totally.
you know, you'd be doing me a massive solid, and you know that's kind of the only way to really appeal to him. And he's got such a big heart. He's such a great actor, and he jumped on board. And like you know, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You know,
You've got to be a generous human being and generous actor to take the back seat the whole time.
100%. You know, it's such a, you know, I'll be eternally grateful because it is a relatively thankless job, but you know, I mean, I'm kind of proud of the work we did, so it's as much his as it is mine. It's just my face. Sorry, everybody.
Well, as I see you struggling with the rope, I think to myself, this could be in a form. This would be very popular in LA. You could call it extreme yoga. I feel like that's kind of.
One of my favorite moments in the film is it always get you doing the chin-ups and being
And
so
then
happy
yeah.
how light you are.
Yeah. We're just actually doing it as well, which is kind of cool. All that training actually came in. It wasn't just aesthetic. There were moments where it was like, oh, great. I'm glad I've been doing these chin-ups because I can actually do it.
He used the story he was writing as his insurance policy. As long as he had it, she could have killed him. She needed it. He used it as leverage. And then he traded Baxter hit him with a typewriter. Now we need an insurance policy.
I always found that funny. Like cutting himself off. I don't know why I find it so funny. It's so stupid. It's stupid. Shut up, I'm moving on.
This family all has the same hair. Am I
That was
maybe
the
I the same? I don't know. Same wigs?
we didn't have visions, just a photo from the top.
It was forward shot. No, they you know, pretty much it was only you.
Yeah.
Trav bleached his hair. You'll see more of his character later on, and
Getting creepy.
well, man,
Characters.
well, there you go. Did little Dave get his hair dyed as well?
Don't think so.
No.
Or Ollie, no.
Meg's blonde. I think after the film she went red for a minute.
Yeah.
And then brown and then back to blonde.
Yeah, we'll talk about the casting of Alia when she comes. When she starts making more of an appearance. But yeah, that was a good process too.
Suck it to yourself and then walk upstairs.
I was on mute that whole time. I was like, no, Travis was the one who was the only one who got his hair dyed. And I was like, what do I know who's responding to me?
Oh, Robert, what are you drinking?
Rob's on reds.
Good wine.
Reds.
I'm at a friend's house and I asked for something alcoholic. He brought me this cab, I believe it is.
Cheers, Rob.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers,
Cheers.
mate.
Well, Robert, you and I are on the West Coast. We're in Los Angeles, so.
Yes. That's true. Yeah, it's definitely drinking time here.
Oh yeah, happy hour.
Really? What a brilliant clothing. You think he speaks English? Do you speak English? But he is so very Oh, look at that today.
Oh, perfectly tense.
Violence towards children. I was just writing stuff. I don't know. I didn't think it was ever gonna get made.
Oh my God. It's so funny that we all got quiet for a few minutes. It was
No, I know.
so intense.
It's a lot of fun, that scene, because you do lean into it going, where the fuck is this going? And then what a reward. Smashing his face with your knee. Stuff.
Because I think the thought is always like in a film, it's like nothing bad's going to happen to the kid. It's a kid. They would never, oh no.
Yeah, rethink that.
Yeah.
Well, I think just remember, Robert's the one who wrote this. So any,
you know, I watched a lot. I grew up with horror, and they never hurt the kids, even the ones that were evil. So I'm like, why not? Why not? Why not just do it?
Hold on. You reacted when I spoke to him in Spanish. Please. I know one thing, trust me. Do you speak English? I'm not going to hurt you or him. Again. Do you speak English? Do you speak? You do. Great. He's not dead. I can feel his pulse. I might have broken his nose, though. I'm sorry about that. I had to. My name is Rex. Pleasure is all mine. I don't have my hand, but I keep it. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Well, what's your name? Hey, here we go. Back up here. Hey, before you do anything rash, all I have to do is squeeze.
It's a line from Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade.
you're kidding. Oh God, that's good.
I took it directly from that. I'm not gonna lie.
What's next? This is a monster.
Oh.
Was Davey heavy? Was he taking a bit of his own weight in this bit?
He was actually on a rig.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, so his weight was being carried, which was good.
Then you got movie magic.
There you go. Yeah.
Absolutely strong enough to hold him up, yes.
Well, I mean, I offered to, but
I'll be
I'm worried I was getting too much of a pump on.
I'll tell you. I don't know.
Someone asked, has a movie ever killed a cat? Alan has asked. I don't know. I don't want to see that movie.
Safety reference, that book.
She killed the bunny, right? Didn't she kill the bunny? In
Bunny,
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely been some cats killed. Didn't they kill a couple of gremlins? I don't know.
In Apocalypse, that cow was definitely alive after that. So, yeah. I think it's some bad things happening out of it.
But like back in the day, back in the day, I don't think animal cruelty was a concern of anybody's. Maybe.
Are you?
I love that moment too when Maddie appears in the basement.
Yeah, it's unreal.
It's just cool. It's like
I loved that because I really wanted to be a part of some of the gore and horror in the basement. And I was like, yes, there's that one little dream, confusion moment. So I got to be down there for a day, which was unreal.
And this is me, the cheap producer, talking. It's like when someone like Ashley's role is booked there on like a daily, and it's like she comes in for that one, like 10 minutes. It's like, yep, done my day, bang. It's like, okay, you got to be part of it. Awesome. But yeah, it was worth it. It's a good. It was never. We always wanted to keep that in that momentary flash from Rex of like women. We women keep
women.
Can I also want to give Travis a lot of credit because I think he does such a good job that people don't know to give him the credit. You have to understand something. I didn't write the script thinking that we were going to
Oh no, it's Kyle.
Twins. We auditioned twins. And then this motherfucker right here, Travis, he sends in a tape of him and his brother, and I'm like, this is perfect. They're perfect. Like the one guy's got a wonky eye, and the other guy looks like total asshole. Like this is our twins. And then after watching it 3 or 4 or 5 times, we were like, oh no, that's a green screen. That's one guy. Oh no! And we had already fallen in love with this guy.
Yeah.
So we had to figure out a way to make one guy work. And hence the masks. I mean, they weren't originally wearing masks in the script. This is a way that we could give this role because he earned it. And I don't think a lot of people know that, and I don't think a lot of people give him the credit for it. But
no, it is because we definitely
both wins. No one knows it.
Well, we definitely, you're right, because the audition process initially was, oh my God, okay, we're gonna have to find a set of twins that can act. They have to be of a certain age and look, like that mid-20s to 30s, because they are, aged within the family. And we thought, man, this is going to be pretty hard to find out of Australia. And then when this audition tape came in, we thought, who are these twins? And because we're already facing a scheduling, like it's a tough schedule. We know we have to shoot Ben scenes twice. And then it's like when the director came in and said, I've seen this audition tape, he had a smirk on his face. These twins, I don't know where they've come from. They're amazing. And then we showed Rob, because Rob, I don't know if you'd landed in Australia yet when we'd seen that tape, or maybe you just had landed. I don't know.
I don't remember.
We were all kind of watching it together, thinking they were 2 different, actual twins. And then it was like, okay, now we've got to cast this guy, but it's another scheduling thing. We're going to have to shoot each scene twice, and then they worked out a way to use the mask to limit that a bit. So it worked out, but we had to make everything work to cast Travis, because it was just too good an audition to resist. So yeah, who knows this story?
Travis.
We're not pumping him up. He knows this story.
I'll give you a little bit of trivia. Travis is actually cross-eyed, and the real was uncrossing his eyes. Doing right now. Travis keep tapping off, take some Panadol.
Did you get a headache doing that for so long, Travis?
He did so bad.
On the longer scenes, yeah, it became a bit of a challenge.
But it was such a good choice. It was like, you got to stop for it, mate. You got to stop for it. I'm sorry.
Reading the script, it was such a clear, it was great. The first time I read the twins, I was like, oh, I completely get this. It's those creepy twins that sort of do everything at the same. That's the first time I read it. I was like, what's the weirdest thing? What's the most different thing I can do for this audition? So I thought if I could make them the polar opposite, I thought that might be fun. And then shooting it together, I thought would help the audition stand out, which luckily it did in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's another credit, because they were pretty much the same person in the script. They were pretty much interchangeable. It was like twin 1, twin 2, didn't really matter. There was 2 kind of like the twin Army Hammer's twins in the Social Network. They were just kind of the identical carbon copy, but Travis added that dynamic personality difference, which I thought was really, really cool. And you almost feel sorry for the wonky-eyed twin, just because
actually, it's a good point. There's a lot of humanity in that character.
Yeah.
It's a Barbie playset.
This is.
I love this scene.
This is the scene. This is the.
Yes, it's amazing.
This is just brilliant editing, writing, everything coming together.
The score is great.
The shots, that moment. The practical effects. I mean, that stump, that looks great. That's a great looking stump.
It's really good, huh?
So romantic.
So ridiculous.
It is. This is one of the
Such a good first date.
This was I had thought of this scene before I wrote the movie. So originally
it's so jarring, isn't it?
I wanted to use Sade's "By Your Side." I was listening. It came on the radio one day, and I was like, "This would be an awesome song to use if like some girl was bandaging up her prisoner or captive or something." And it always stuck with me, so I put it here, and it works really well.
This music is terrific.
So good.
Slow mo. Meg looks amazing. Fucking hilarious, man.
I'm Aria. I like you.
And the eyebrows is a great touch.
Okay, I had to mute my reactions to that because that was just too intense. And Robert, I blame you.
You should blame me.
Try to free myself, kill your family, kill priest. Well, I could, but I'm guessing you.
Suddenly, they're insane.
No. I would play the things.
But you can't kill them.
Hey, listen, no offense, but fuck that, they're dead.
No, I'm very you can't. Like, you won't be able.
Then we'll leave.
They will find us.
You don't know that. How do you know?
Because they always do. And when they do, we will pay.
Definitely.
This is all because of him, because
I'm
of
the cool boondog. I killed the cat in Boondock Saints. Oh,
That's embarrassing.
come on, mate.
It's not about you, babe.
Yeah, let's go.
and that's there will be nothing left of you.
You'll get the next one.
Is she saying, are you saying that you're put on
Lunch?
lunch?
Better than you did it just then.
And dinner.
Better acting. Been working on my craft.
He was born a monster with a taste for only one
Actually, I think I'm
thing.
worse than that.
Who's it back? Sound is the boss.
Yeah? I don't want to.
Jack Finstra, incredible actor.
So,
Oh, creepy, mate. His energy is just so scary. Not in real life, but in this it is. You don't really want to say this about a father too, do you?
He's
he's got the most amazing eyes. They just
Like, yeah.
Oh wait, here we go.
This is awesome.
Star of the show.
I literally started
15 minutes.
their real life.
Honor and a privilege to get killed by Jack Finster.
So Chris Robb wanted to. He said, "I want to be the. I'm obviously the writer. I'm a co-editor and a co-producer. I also want to be in one scene. No problem." And then Josh, our other US producer, the same. You see him a bit later, but yep, no problem. Get in there. And he said, "I just want to die. I just want to be killed. I just want to get something happen." So there you go.
Producer Josh, I remember producer Josh is like, we're in pre-production. He's like, I think we should rehearse our scene. And I was like, I'm going to see it later. And I'm going, okay, but we went over and rehearsed it about 20 times. And I'm like,
And then he was real serious. It was good.
it was like, I think he was just pretty nervous. Because
I think he wanted to be alone with you, Ben.
so,
No, but he took it serious. Rob even went method. He grew a beard for the scene.
Beard, yeah, because I figured I was out in the wilderness for a couple weeks, and I was hungry. Was method acting.
That's awesome. Backstory and everything.
Typical writer, Chris, just thinking about the scene and like. So we noticed for a few weeks. Why aren't you shaving? Why aren't you shaving, Robbie? Is this like a thing you do during shoot? He goes, no, it's for my scene. It's for my scene.
Leave
me alone.
Well, I think it's smart producing to use the screenwriter to save money on hiring an actor. I think that's smart producing.
Well, it cost them. I wasn't free.
Yeah, he didn't. But at least it was one less actor we had to have go through dialect. The dialect.
Yeah, was true. It was like, we need an American dialect.
no, that's funny for you.
They had it written in the schedule. Hire American dialect coach.
That was that meme. One does not simply walk into Mordor. Oh, that's pretty funny. So this is Ali's backstory. That kid was so cool, but he's so just like limp.
So that's David Hill's little brother. I forgot his name, but the David who plays Ollie had like a 3-year-old brother, so it worked out perfectly.
And the first scene he shot, running with him.
Eddie.
Oh, did she drop him?
Yeah, so I'd become the shy too.
Unbelievable. So he
Who
probably
dropped him?
he
No.
probably had a neck. That's right. He didn't have a choice.
He was heavy. Even just that little moment where Maddie was walking away, I was like, "Oh my god, you're so little," but it just his whole weight.
Yeah.
Talent's heavy, you know. And it's
That's right. The burden. Fuck off. How amazing is this diet? Like, I mean, I'm not finished.
This is a 1-page monologue, right? That Caroline Craig does right.
Yeah.
But for all of the family, like, look, I'm not finished, and my ear's probably not attuned to it, like, people from Finland's is, but it sounds phenomenal. Like, I don't hear any Australian kicking in at all. Like, Caroline's one of the sweetest human beings on the planet, too. Might even be the sweetest.
And Chris, we found we're in, you're probably not geographically that familiar with Australia, but we shot it in Gold Coast, which is near Brisbane, and we obviously needed not only an American dialect coach just to help people who may need touch up. We obviously needed to find a Finnish dialect coach who could spend time to teach this language, but also be on set to not inhibit the performance, but help just perfect it if the scenes were acknowledged. But she was, and we found her in Brisbane, and like she's also an actor's agent, so she had the time to spend. So it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. Like,
well, Trav could speak to that. Trav was the one that had to spend time with her.
Yeah, she was amazing. She just, you kind of, when you go, we've got an agent, she's Finnish. It's like, is she going to be able to? Because voice coaches and accent coaches spend years studying. It's like, oh no, is she just going to just say it to us and expect us to pick it up? But she broke it down. This is the way that we learned. Well, I learned the lines for this phonetically. So you write down the sound. She wrote down.
Is that how you did it?
Yeah, I did it phonetically. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then just repetition. But she was incredible. Just broke it down so clearly, just all the sounds and that kind of stuff. And she was so precise and lovely. And Ben's just showing me his stocks. He's just made a fortune. But it's just incredible. And just to have her on set, and she's got the most lovely personality. So, you'd be doing your thing, and then she'd just come over and be like, just remember to hit that word a little bit more. Just so invaluable to have on set. So it was really amazing.
It's good too, because some people, a lot of vocal coaches can. I'm not slandering the profession, but a lot of vocal coaching, there's a very fine line between an acting coach and a vocal coach, and some people can very easily blur those lines, and all of a sudden you start getting line readings, etc., etc.
A lot of time.
And she did a great job of respectfully kind of, I guess phonetics is the best way to go about it, because
but she was also, I don't think she'd ever been an actor. A lot of the time, vocal coaches and acting
they
coaches
were actors, yes.
trained as actors, and then
Really
you go, I love voice, I'm going to train you. But Emma, it was so good.
Yeah, so she was really good at that. It was good to, it was amazing. The whole family put in was incredible.
Brett, my knowledge of the geography of Australia is really limited to the Mad Max films. So I understand that the highways are very dangerous. The extent of my knowledge is
there are road warriors everywhere trying to take over and there are kangaroos and and pet crocodiles, and absolutely it's everything that the movies portray. Absolutely,
right. I'm sure it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
I know for sure that the beer is good. That I know for sure.
Beer is actually too good.
And every Australian I've ever met,
and the coffee
likes to drink. So I get along with Australians really well.
Good.
Like to drink. That's fun.
We had some great parties throughout the shoot of Bloody Hell. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
I would assume so.
Well, Rob can attest to that. We had some blinders, as we would say.
yeah, no, they were one of a kind for sure. I miss those parties.
Rob, we celebrated your 40th, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my wife flew out, and we had a 40th birthday bash.
Yeah, that was unreal, mate. That was a great night. That was a big night.
Yeah, it was fun.
These insert shots of the hands and the toe, the feet, the foot going up to the how was that Ben? Was that like how
That would have been Ben, right? That had to be Ben.
Oh,
the
was me.
shots of the yeah.
that was me. So what we did though was like in these were sort of I wouldn't say wide shots, but they're more acting focused shots. We you can see in the background. Oh, you might not see it so much anymore. It might be done now, but you can see me sort of flicking up and blah blah blah. But then when we went to get hey nonsense fans, you've also earned yourself a subscriber. Thank you.
Yeah.
But we set up a bit of a trestle.
Short answer is yes, we did.
And it would just be me lying on my back. Like, I can actually demonstrate. I'd be lying on my back like this to the hand side, and we just immediately kind of flick the foot up like that. But in the wider shots, I was doing it all myself as well.
Well, it definitely looks intense, but the way you just look, it looks like you're doing yoga.
Look at Trav, and you can see it in the camera. We can see you getting beers.
I think I just broke an expensive bottle of beer.
What did you break? You fucking idiot. He's broken a bottle of wine.
Oh no.
Oh, look, you just got straight back in and left it out there.
I'll tell you what you noticed in 2 months. I was in the background.
Travis also does his own stunts. A lot of glass work. It's not mine, it's glass work.
The handwritten label made me think it was expensive.
You're in so much trouble. That's so funny.
Here comes the answers to all our questions.
I remember reading that moment on the page, Rob, and thinking, I hope I can pull this off. I hope the journey, the trajectory of being stabbed and fading out, this knowledge, well, if you weren't dead before, you're extra dead now. These thought things, I was like, I hope that works, because you never know. But then with the fade out and all that sort of stuff, this is the beauty of film. There's so much, so much work can be done for you as well. It's not just your responsibility. It's not like theater.
Well, it's funny you bring that up, because I was just thinking, because I know what I wrote, and it's like he starts laughing. He starts laughing at all the things he wants to do. He starts laughing at the situation he's in. He's laughing how he's going to kill them all. And you don't read that, but it verbatim. But I was just thinking, watching that, I was like, that's exactly what I had in mind when I wrote that. It's like he's just in this now, whether for better or for worse. He's going to kill them all or die trying. And I think it's shown in that.
No, you're right. The knowledge there is just,
It's such an interesting way to play rock. It's so easy to go with the stakes of the situation, but to play against that, I think it's a very interesting choice.
Dude, have you seen this shit? What is it? Bank getting wrong. Fucking bank robbery. Some dude goes ape shit on the robbers. This is fucking sick. He took his fucking gun. Wow. Watch. That's not right. Holy shit. I'm not watching. Stop. You watch. It's coming. Oh, what the fuck? Come on. He always sends you the good shit.
right there. Andrew, all right? Okay? Take it easy. Right.
Come on now. Come on.
Everybody, get up. Get out. I got this. Oh, hang tight back there. I'm going to be a moment. Come on, let's go. Now, Rex does something I personally wouldn't recommend. And that's turning his back on the remaining threat. You'll see in a second why he does. With the back room still full of employees and an active shooter, he's taking a big risk by leaving it behind. What he does instead is approach one of the downed gunmen.
This was my homage to that YouTube channel, Active Self-Protection. I don't know if anyone, but it basically is a dude kind of recapping all these violent security camera incidents.
Move again. All right, let's look down your fucking throat. Okay.
I wonder if anyone caught that line. Like, I wonder if anyone's gone back and watched the movie and was like, "Oh, you know what I'm talking about?"
You're right, because I mean, there's a few scenes that you know aren't in the film anymore. You're right, because I mean, there's a few scenes that you know aren't in the film anymore. You're right, because
Yeah, amazing.
it's really trippy. I know. I'm a ventriloquist for myself, but few scenes in the film that you know that aren't in there anymore that you know are all like I think in the background of a university scene, a rat's left leg is being amputated. Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, little things, all these little hints that mention foot, leg, all these little cue cards that sort of it's really cool. I mean, unfortunately, we lost them because I think it is a good movie.
Hold it right there, Sally. Oh, boy. Gun down or she dies.
Ashley, how did it feel to have a shotgun pointed at the back of your head?
You know it's safe, but I think there's just always that little hint of what if not this time? What if they've forgotten this time?
Right.
No, it was really cool. All the stunt guys and safety officers were unreal. Like they just kept us all so safe. And you know, I got to check the barrel before every take just to make sure it was clear. And it was
Cool.
It was good, but it helped with the intensity a little bit.
Back door.
Was there blanks being used on set, or is it all post?
There a few blanks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the smoke or sparks were added in post. I think that was all live.
Yeah, right.
They wanted us all to see blood at their hands. There were multiple incidents of violence. They were the ones funded the business. Active. Before it became something bigger.
Brad Shield, what a genius, man.
Keeping my mind.
All of his angles, everything. I mean, you know, it's a team effort, obviously, but
I'm with my
guy's
military.
got a good eye.
Yeah. We were all witness to a murder. Still, anyway, I thought you didn't want to die today. And personally, I don't feel the burden of this personally, no. I've come up with it. I would say it was their actions that led to this homeless guy. He's fucking not mine. It's a play. Listen. Mr. Cohen had won. It was over. No one else had to be harmed. But that wasn't good enough, was it, Mr. Cohen? But cool, yeah. All right.
Shoot him in the dick! Do it! What?
Oakley. That was Oakley Corn. He was awesome.
Mobilize the perpetrator.
She was really good, huh?
Yeah.
I wanted him down, and I didn't want him to reproduce. A win-win.
I don't think you're supposed to say that in court.
Yeah, wasn't his smartest move, was it?
No.
I mean, that's he got his 8 years for that line, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. If there was any doubt, that kind of.
That's right.
Well, it was really hard to write what crime was going to give him a jail sentence where he can also be seen as a hero. You know, I actually had to research vigilante crimes to make something that was somewhat realistic, and then I figured if he was just kind of an asshole in court, they're not going to hesitate. So,
but I think it's something really cool about the film, Rob. You know, as well, that there is like this meta commentary on these things like our diehards and everything like that, where it's like it's all badass, and somebody like obviously somebody playing like, you know, when we went through those lines of like you'd be kind of no, it's been done.
Yeah.
Like this guy almost like somebody that's, you know, played Grand Theft Auto and went out into the street and went, I'm going to solve my problems with violence.
Yeah.
But in the real world, you know, it's kind of, I just think it's really interesting. It's like a realistic take on the fantasy in a fantasy genre. I don't, you know, in a fantastical world.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, Rex has probably grown up watching the action movies, playing the video games, and was like, oh, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Not understanding the consequences.
Well, I think once you said, Rob, like Jack Bauer in 24, it's like he just goes into survival mode, but and damn the consequences type of thing.
Pretty much. Yeah. Which would have been a great movie just on its own. Like, this action hero who goes to jail and has to suffer his consequences. That's a pretty intriguing movie, but you know, I added a family of cannibals.
Ash, you're amazing in that scene, by the way. Beautiful work, man.
Oh, thank you. I had so much fun shooting that. It was a great day. We had a really good time doing that one. And it was cool as well because there's that scene, in the scene, you're actually behind me as Rex in one part. So Josh actually acted opposite me for
was he a little
bit better.
You got to work with the real talent.
The real Rex. Yeah.
Where did you guys put the prison?
Oh, that was at the studio, right, Brett? Rob?
Yeah, that was too.
That looked amazing. Art department nailed that.
Jackson is one of my favorites.
This is fucking so cool. Jack. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He hardly has any lines in the movie. It's all
He's got like
So creepy.
He's such a presence, mate. I mean, everybody in this film just really elevated their characters. You know, they just went above and beyond, which is it's cool, man.
So yeah, my favorite part's coming up here.
Oh. That face is so good.
He's like, what?
What?
Yeah, that's cool, man. I tell you, I went and saw this in the cinema. You know, we did a big sort of watch party like this, but you know, invited a whole bunch of friends and family. You know, in the middle of COVID, it was the best we could hope for, really. And went and checked it out. And I mean, this is a cool film to watch with a big audience. You know, that kind of subscribe to this genre and enjoy this sort of stuff because so vocal, they get so involved. And that moment always elicited like a big like, hey, kind of thing, which is really cool. There's something really satisfying about watching somebody get stabbed in the ear, you know.
It's Cam.
Cam.
It's Cam from the film. My screenwriter.
Hey, Cam! What up, buddy? His Instagram is so funny. He tells these stories.
Oh,
and he's
Cameron? Cameron?
This is the straggler along the street, right?
Oh, Cameron.
Yeah, he was awesome.
What's up, Cameron? He was the psycho twat guy.
What's the great?
Oh.
When he gets you, he's like, am I supposed to be scared of you? Because I'm a pretty big guy.
That's right. That's right.
I don't think I'm scared of you, man, because I'm
It's
pretty
true,
big,
yeah.
and I'm like
Pretty big.
fucking massive. But I've killed a whole bunch of people. I don't know, it was pretty funny, man. We're just like,
What about
I
that?
would have found a bigger role for him in another next film.
Yeah, he's
such a character.
awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
he's really good.
Such a good sport, too.
People should follow him on Instagram. His stories are so funny. Just him talking about his life out west.
Kill 'em all.
Like feeding horses and shit. It's so funny.
What are you talking about? She practically begged you to murder her family and take her away from you. Okay, she's not my concern. My concern is getting back to the life I had. Getting the fuck out of this place. Getting back to my friends. Good old US of A where we don't fucking eat people. So what are we doing now?
So, you know, there's a common, like, question about this moment. Did the conscience and Rex switch? And I'll tell you my take. I know everyone kind of had their own opinion on set. My take was that they never switched. The conscience was always just an extension or a magnification of what Rex wanted to do or knew he should do. In the bank, he wanted to kill those guys, and the conscience was like, yeah, kill those guys. In this, he knows he should save the girl. He just doesn't really want to because of what happened before, but he knows in his heart he should. So I don't think it was ever like a switch, like the conscience was giving him bad advice the whole time and then gives him good advice. I think it was just
Not enough.
let's just do what you really feel. I don't know if you guys took that away at all.
No, it's, I found, I think, I find it really interesting because, you've always got to chart character's journey. And that moment, particularly for the two of them, is pivotal because it's when they both change their tune. It's, you've seen Rex hanging up, kind of appealing to Alia. And as soon as he gets free, it's like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not being a hero. I'm done. And you see the conscience go like, hey. And it's the least selfish you see the conscience going like, let's save the girl. Save the girl. So for me, it was a moment, not where they swap role or, one becomes the other, etc. But, it's a pivotal moment in their journey where the conscience takes the moral high ground and Rex becomes the more corrupt of the two, but by way of necessity. It's just pure survival mode. And the rest. And it was a moment, I don't know if you guys remember, but we had quite a bit of trouble with that moment on set. Just kind of, it felt like a really delicate one, because all characters, they must develop and learn, you don't want to see the conscience just remain the same way the whole time.
You were just keen, Ben, to get your shirt back on and get the hell out of the basement. You'd had enough. You were like, I'm done with the basement. Anyway. Yeah.
I always found it
You're
so
right. It was a pivotal moment in the film, and they got it right. We did spend a lot of time on it. We got it right. Yeah.
I find it so interesting having a visual subtext, like you are the subtext.
That's a good point, man.
I always found that the most interesting. Point of it.
Nonsense fans. Ben, follow. Nonsense.
All the awards.
Nonsense fans. I'm going to send you my phone number in a minute. That's unbelievable. Thank you.
Cheap scare.
That day,
It's all about Trav coming up soon. It's all about Trav.
I really hurt my back that day. I Dave.
Dave, he's gone from a six-pack to a keg. You don't want him to take
I'm telling you, we'll instantly lose viewers if I take this shirt off. But that moment there, I really hurt my back. I remember doing it, and I was like, did we get it? And they were like, yeah, we're moving on. I'm like, oh, thank fuck. I cracked my back right on the corner of this thing. It's funny.
Another really incredible thing about this house, this was all in a studio as well.
Yeah, that was
level.
That was on the second floor right here. It wasn't, yeah.
They built the house in the studio. It was phenomenal because they had that shot, you know, where they wanted to kind of like shoot through the levels. Like, you know, this vertical, I mean, I'm sure there's a term for it, but the vertical, you know, shooting through the levels of the house.
Yeah.
It was so cool, man.
It's quite a hipster house, right? It's a deconstructed house, just all in one.
Oh, it's unreal.
The VFX department did a great job of removing your leg.
I know, and that's a really thankless job as well because it's a massive task.
Yeah, no, I mean it really is. With the lighting not always being correct, just you know, you had this green sock on the whole time, and to cleanly remove it in the fast motion when you swing up and kick or try to kick back, like that's not easy to do. So, and the green screen coming up in the car, I actually had a hand in trying to make that look good, and it's not easy. So I'm very impressed with what they did.
They really do a great job.
It's definitely a huge leg.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
You're not happy with that one, are you? Like?
I'm just fucking around.
Oh, you funny one. The trap's so good in this thing. So is Matt Sunderland, man. His gravitas is phenomenal.
Another flawless page monologue will finish. You know,
I know.
the key words.
Just his like energy, you know, everything. He's just such a. You hardly hear from him until now. He's just obviously the patriarch of the family at this moment. I'll shut up now. So
Se on johtoon ihan tyynenkin. Alkaako toka sen kun se jenki juuri. Se on helppo sille pitäisi mennä vanhaita jopa vanhimman. Jos se on sitten paasivan alle ja se tulee ulle liian joku. Vasta kontteja. Mutta tuli taas meidän muiden. Ymmärrä väri on konia sun päässä kaupunkiin aitaan.
I love this because we have 13 minutes of the movie left, and we're like, "What? We're gonna go on a woods chase and hunt for this guy? Like, what can possibly happen here?" This is great. That was your Ash Evil Dead moment.
Yeah. Ah.
That was so good.
I guess you don't watch the news that much, huh?
Go on, you bitch.
You just killed your entire family. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Mix them up.
It's emotions. Anyway.
It was a good ad lib.
What was that?
Meg's great in this scene, mate. That terror that she just played then is so cool.
That's your brother. I thought you said he never grew up.
My name's Benton.
What would be nice to know? Alia.
He's lit really well, I think.
Ah.
Oh my God.
You want it?
Ah! Oh.
Any more giant siblings I should know about? Oh, yeah.
No.
Just like to point out, I kept my eyes open for that entire scene.
I was gonna say, Travis, you got to die twice. Wow.
Hero.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
You know what would have been better, though? If you said something along the lines of, "You're finished," you know? Or something like, "Finished vegetables." You know what I mean? Because if anything with finishing, because really. So when we get there, what do you want to do with your little brother? Kill him?
No, we're taking him with us.
Okay.
Oh man.
So, how did you two meet?
Well, I was on vacation in Finland, and her parents hated me. Like biblically hated me. Anyway, turns out she had 4 So I killed her entire family and we've been a couple ever since.
Oh, Josh Brennan, what a fucking mess.
Bravo. Oh my God. Nice.
There's an NC nugget coming up. Little.
Ah.
Oh, what's going on here?
Amerikkalaiselle on correct.
There's 3 of them.
You know,
Movie 15 minutes. No clue there was a watch party happening at the same time.
well, now you can Reel of Phase 14. Now you can watch it again with the watch party playing in the background. So, and Rebecca says, "We need a sequel. I love this movie. Give us a sequel."
Thank you, Rebecca.
I don't know how you top that. Like that's, I mean, I'm sure there are more relatives to bring into the story.
The triplet.
We've got the triplet. And we've also got the uncle, the uncle in America that the family went to visit, you know,
Yeah.
and with Wally
So
in America.
did you, Robert, did you set it up for there to be at least the potential to do a sequel? So
Yeah, of course. I mean, they mentioned early on that there's their underachiever of a brother who lives in America. So, you know, to leave it open-ended, and then with what we learn about Alia, and then we learn there's, I always say a third twin, which is grammatically incorrect, is a triplet. Where there's another one of them. Yeah, we could take that where we want. Yeah.
awesome. Well, let's as we watch the credits, let's go around to everybody and give our final thoughts on the project. And someone says, I agree, we need another movie.
Oh, it's Cam.
Oh, Cam, he's in
Cam.
Oh, yeah. That's right. A bigger part for Cam, who knows?
Yes.
But let's start our final thoughts before we wrap up this watch party for Bloody Hell. Let's go around. Brett, what are your final thoughts as credits roll?
I mean, from where we started with the script and how the film turned out, you know, I'm very, very happy in regard. And it was such a great experience to make it, the cast, the crew. You know, we had to release it in turbulent times. You know, we had a lot of big physical in-present festivals lined up at the start of 2000 so the early part of 2020. That wasn't to be. We've still played some great festivals. We've got a great cult following. It's growing. And you know, I certainly do hope we can make a sequel one day. And I do believe, obviously, Ben's character Rex is integrally involved, but I think Maddie plays a part in the sequel in terms of, again, this Maddie is going to come, you know, again be a thorn in Rex's brain and love and heart and all that kind of stuff. So, look, we'll see. Yeah, I'm very proud of how it turned out, and I really thank its loyal fans, and it seems to be growing. And you know, yeah, I'm happy to do so.
And it's finished, as it says at the end.
Yeah.
Ashley, what are your final thoughts?
Look, I had the best time this morning. I think this is the 4th time I've seen the film now, I think. And I just love it every time. It's so fun. And watching with you guys was awesome. Being involved was so cool and so fun. And meeting these guys was just unreal and such a highlight for me. So, yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having me today.
Ben and Travis, what do you think? Cam says, nah, don't need a bigger part for me, just more with Ben shirtless. So, there you go.
Video online with him, we did one of those bottle throwing competitions, and he whooped my ass. So I imagine he's relatively satisfied on that front too. I'd love to make a sequel. I'd love to keep doing it. The character's a hell of a lot of fun to play, and you know, I mean, it's in pretty capable hands when it comes to, you know, the storytelling and the creating of it. So I would. I'd love to do it. It's a hell of a time. No pun intended.
And Travis, you'll be back as a triplet?
Oh, absolutely. If they'll have me. Yeah, it's just such an incredible experience. It's not often you get to make projects with your best mates. You know, I've known Ben and George for so long, and you know, new best mates. You always, you know, you want to make these projects, but you stay for the people that you meet along the way. And it was just one of the most beautiful, awesome experiences I've had making this film. And if we can do it again, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
It's a good point to piggyback on what Trav's saying as well. The energy, like the cast and primarily from the crew as well. Like, I mean, everybody was really passionate about this project. You know, it was the story, the script, and the creatives kind of behind it that really attracted everybody. There was a lot of work going on at the time, and there were, you know, a lot of our crew was actually kind of, you know, they'd come from this other thing to work with us. And
it's really inspirational.
It was really cool.
Because a lot of time, you know, like they work so hard, and, you know, sometimes it's just there for the cash. But on this one, everybody was so in it. And I think it really shows on screen, you know.
cut throughout the process. You know, cut little scenes and cut throughout the filming, and cut little bits. We have little watch parties as a whole cast and crew. We just have little scenes and blah blah blah. And it was
Friday lunchtime, Chris. We're doing it Friday lunch, like trying to show at least cut together a couple of scenes. It's still raw, and you got fake temp music and all that kind of stuff in, but just so that the crew could see in those last few weeks at lunchtime some of the scenes. And a lot of them work on some of the huge Hollywood films, and you just can't get. They just will not do that because that's all got to be under a lock and key. And I understand why, but here we wanted to at least, and I've done it in all my films, is to try to cut together some stuff, each week and just show the crew and I still remember the electricity of showing the crew the first time. I think it was Ben and Rex and his conscience, because with the split screen, Rob could just quickly mash that together, and it's like, holy shit, this is going to work. And we knew it was going to work, but it's like the crew was like, holy shit, this is working really well. Like, wow, fuck. So yeah, it was good. It was a good vibe.
All right, and Robert, why don't you take us out? Final thoughts as from your mind, your screenwriting mind. This is now unleashed onto the world.
Yeah, pretty crazy. First, thank you for having us and hosting this, Chris. We really appreciate it. And Ben, Trav, Ash, and Brett, great to see you guys again. Hope we can do it again. Segue to, I would love to make a sequel. I have the story in my head. I know what I want to happen. If you can imagine it being crazier, I think in many ways it is a lot crazier. In order to do that, though, guys, like what I want to say to everyone watching is, if you like the movie, if you love the movie, if you like the movie, rate it, review it on iTunes, on Amazon, on IMDb. Spread the word, because we're not a Hollywood production. We had some hardships with this whole 2020 thing, and we just need the word spread. And the more people that like it, the more people that review it, the more people that talk about it, the more possibility is to do another one. So if you want to see another one, spread the word. And that's really all I got to say. Thank you so much, and I appreciate this Film Threat viewing party.
I want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time out on your. Well, wait a second, Australia. It's just lunchtime, but
early afternoon. Yeah,
time to drink, but a liquid lunch. But thank you so much for doing this. This was awesome. That third act blew my freaking mind. So. Yeah, it also kind of opens up a whole bunch of things that were thrown in that like I did not see coming that are freaking amazing, and also some kills that I've never seen in a freaking movie before. I mean, that's shocking in all the best ways. So I want to say thank you to everybody, and come back next week for another Film Threat watch party. We're doing I don't even know how to describe this movie. This film Lapsus that played at South by Southwest. We're doing a watch party for that. We've got some really good watch parties coming up. I just want to thank you for taking the time to see this, and congratulations on the film, and much success on the sequel.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for watching.